Alright guys, welcome back for another Handke Algebra 2 video. We got 6.7 day 1, solving equations with roots. Okay, we got 3 basic steps to today's lesson. Alright, step 1 is we need to get that root alone on one side. Now whether that's a square root, cube root, fourth root, whatever, you just need to get that root alone on one side. Once we have that root isolated on a side, we can then raise each side to a power that will cancel out the root. So if we're trying to get rid of a square root, okay, you probably don't want to square both sides. And then solve the leftover remaining equation. And there will be a time or two when after you get to this step, there's still a square root or a cube root or whatever root we have left involved, and then we're just going to start back over at the top and get that root alone and continue on down again. Alright, so example problem here, we got the square root of x plus 2 plus 4 equal to 7. So step 1, we need to get that root alone. So to get it alone, we need to move the 4. We need to get rid of this 4. We're going to subtract 4 over. And now I have square root of x plus 2 by itself on one side equal to 3. Okay, it's a square root, so to undo a square root, we're going to square both sides. And when I square a square root, it cancels out. And we just get left with x plus 2 on this side. Over here we have 9. Okay? Then, step 3, solve the remaining equation. X plus 2 equals 9. Not too bad. Okay? Subtract that 2, we get 7. And we'll get 7. Alright? Always want to double check your answers with these when we're doing square roots and squares. Sometimes we get answers that don't end up working back in our original equation. So test this out. 7 plus 2 is going to be 9. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. Good to go. Okay? If you want to try that one over on the right, the cube root one, go ahead and hit pause and start working on that. Okay, if you did the one on the right, you need to get the root by itself. So we're going to subtract 1 over. Now we have this cube root by itself, so to get rid of a cube root, we need to cube both sides, or go to the third power. Negative 1 to the third power, guys. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1 squared, times negative 1 again for the third one will be negative 1. So then we subtract 2 over. We're trying to solve the leftover equation here. Subtract 2 over. We get negative 3, divide by the 3, n equals negative 1. Alright, hopefully you're able to get negative 1 on your own. Bottom left, okay? Sometimes you're going to have 2 square root signs. And let's pretend those parentheses squared are not there. That's actually the first step. Alright, what if I put this in here? And 2 minus square root of x. So here's our original equation. Square root of x minus 12, and then 2 minus the square root of x. Alright, so we have this square root all by itself already on the left side. So we have step 1 done. We have a root alone on one side. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. It's a square root, so we're going to square both sides. When I square a square root, those cancel out. We just have x minus 12. 2 minus the square root of x, parentheses squared. Very common mistake here is that kids will square the 2, call it 4, square the square root of x, call it x, and think we're done. Okay, we miss out on the middle stuff from our foiling process. So I strongly suggest you write them out back to back and foil. So if I go 2 times 2, yep, that's 4. 2 times negative square root of x is going to be a negative 2 square root of x. Negative square root of x times 2 is another negative 2 square root of x. And then negative square root of x times negative square root of x, negative times negative is a positive. Square root of x times square root of x, regular x. See, so we would miss out on this middle stuff, negative 2 square root of x, negative 2 square root of x, which is minus or negative 4 square root of x there in the middle. Okay? So here we are, this step right here, and we still have a square root. Alright, so it's going to be tough to solve the remaining equation when I have another square root. So we need to go back up to the top, step 1 again. Okay, and get that root alone on one side. So time to move some stuff over. Let's subtract x, and then let's subtract 4. And now we'll have negative 16 equals negative 4 square root of x. Divide by negative 4, we should have 4 equals the square root of x. And I had a bunch of kids in class today just blurt out the answer, oh, it's 2. No, the square root of 4 would be 2. I want the square root of x is 4. So we would square both sides. We would square both sides, and we'll get 16. 16. And again, we need to double check, especially when we're having these two square roots. We have to go through that process twice. Double check this just to make sure it works. Okay? 16 minus 12 is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. Okay? The square root of 16 is 4, and 2 minus 4 is, negative 2. Alright, not the same. Okay, so what we call those are extraneous solutions or extra solutions. Okay, they work out as we solve it this way, but they actually don't work back in the original equation. We lost. It has to do with losing some negative signs in there when we square and square root stuff, and all the sign changes, and we'll actually get some answers that won't necessarily work back in our original. Okay? So we need to be double checking our answers. You'll have two sections in your homework. One section, the directions say to check your answers. So that section, you might have a few of these. In another section, doesn't, and then all those will come out nice that you won't necessarily have to worry about going back and double checking those. Okay? If you want to try this one on your own, it's going to be similar to this one. Go ahead, hit pause, and try that. And welcome back, and this is what we should have. Same process as the problem on the left. Okay? We're going to square both sides. Alright, FOIL this out. Don't forget your stuff in the middle. We should have a negative 10 times the square root of x plus 1 in the middle. Square root of x plus 1 squared is going to be x plus 1. Put your 1 and 25 together to make a 26. Okay? And then we still have a square root, so we need to put that back together. We need to get this by itself. So subtract x, subtract 26. Okay, we get to here. Let's divide by negative 10. Positive 2 now. Get rid of the square root by squaring. 4 equals x plus 1. X is 3. Let's go back and double check. 3 plus 6 is 9. The square root of 9, we got 3 over here. What will we get over here? Okay, we got 3 plus 1 should be 2, or 3 plus 1 is going to be 4. Square root of 4 is 2. And we'll have 5 minus 2, we get 3. This time it did work out back up in our original. If we put that back in here, we'll still get 3 on both sides. Okay? Just another type of problem to be aware of. Another no solution possible. Okay, go through this one. This is just a problem that I caught, or I would recognize or be looking for. Okay, it looks like our other problem before, but instead of a square root, we have our rational exponent. We have it written as a fraction in the exponent instead of the root sign. So it's still the same process. Try to get this by itself. Subtract the 2. Divide by 4. And now I have z to the 1/2 power equals negative 1/2. Okay, and I'm like, okay, need to get rid of this. Let's square both sides, right? But then I think, well, wait a minute, z to the 1/2 power, that's the same as a square root. And when do we have a square root equaling a negative half? Never. Okay, so not possible there, no solution. Let's say you didn't catch that. Let's say you still went squared squared. Alright, we did z equals negative, oh not negative, it'd be positive 1/4. Z equals a positive 1/4. And then you go and put that back in up here. Okay? So we have 1/4 to the 1/2 power is going to be a half. 4 times a half would be 2. 4 to the 1/2 power, square root of 4 is going to be 2. No, we did that. The square root of 1/4 is a half, times 4 is 2. There it's still 2. And 2 plus 2 is 4, not equal to 0, and you would still get no solution. You would still get no solution at the end. Okay? This is another one that comes out similar to this, I believe. And just another quick example here with a different root. Okay? Just so we're not scared when we see something besides a square root. Still the same process, guys. Still the same process. Okay? So we need to get the root by itself. We're going to add the 12 over. We got a 4 times in the front. Let's divide by 4. Okay, we get the 4th root of 3x plus 6 equal to 3. Cancel out a 4th root by going to the 4th power. By going to the 4th power. Those will cancel out here. 3x plus 6 equals 81. Subtract your 6. Now we're at 75. Divide by 3. We're at 25. 25. Okay? So just be ready for something with a different root. It might not always be a square root, could be a cube root, could be a 4th root. Alright? We got page 433, 23 through 41. Make sure you read the directions. They give you a hint on which problems you should be looking for extraneous answers or not possible, no solution problems. Okay? So we got day 2 coming up tomorrow. Then we'll have practice quiz followed by a quiz and a practice test followed by a test. Big couple days coming up, guys. Make sure we're ready.